Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your pilot Killboy speaking. And today we're going to be taking a drive across the Dragon on a Saturday at about 2 p.m. And I'm going to scrape. I'm going to actually go right, because if I try to turn left from here, I'm just going to scrape. Turn my music off so I don't get a copyright strike. Sort of July, typical July stuff. Not super busy today, but pretty steady. I'll give you guys a run through, and those who can't be here see what it looks like. Coming up on State Line, sort of working on our series of teaching you the road, but also making a different video each time so that you can watch this over and over. This first turn right here, it's been a while since people have wrecked it, but we had some crazy wrecks there at one time. One dude on a cruiser went up the bank and flipped over and fell down and landed right beside a signpost that had been cut. Guys had blue jeans on that FZ1, just about to drag a knee. But yeah, they had cut a street sign post and left part of the post in the ground, and he landed right beside it. Could have been bad. We got with the DOT and got them to come out and remove that post, because they drive them into the ground so hard, it's like I couldn't get that out, not without special equipment at least. So coming up on a local straight here, be careful. It's easy to get in way over the speed limit here and get yourself a nice performance award. Speeding ticket for those who are just waking up maybe. It's always a tricky place to keep your speed down. It's just so inviting to whistle through here. They get people speeding in minivans and whatnot. Taking it easy. This is my first run through today, and I hadn't heard of any real problems, but things can happen any moment, so passing mile marker 1, and here's where the straighter section sort of ends, and now we get into the pretty continuously curvy stuff. A little bit uphill here, side by side. Gets kind of rhythmic. You know, that's one of the appeals to this road. It has sort of a rhythm to it. The turns don't last too long. They come pretty frequent. You just sort of end up in this little dance, you know. Coming up on Stonewall. Mile marker 1.5. Come on! Hey, they passed the pothole finally. Nice. Kyle's Corner. Down into NSX turn. Big shady pull off. Pretty good spectating spot. little straightaway here. See some people blow this in fast cars, so be careful. If you got a high power car, you can get a lot of speed going up this hill, and then it's kind of a tight double apex here. And so we saw some nice cars like push out and go across the road right there. Little pull off on the right, kind of shady, mile marker 2. The pull off is shady as in there's shade trees on it, not that it's sketchy. And around this little double apex right-hander, and then we get into some sort of rhythmic left right stuff going down towards Sunset. So here's what we call Sunset turn. It's usually pretty well lit. Be the first place to drive after it rains. Mile 2.5. So the half mile markers are on the left side of the road when you're going this direction, and full digit markers are on the right side of the road, or the uphill side of the road if you're going either direction. Coming down into the hump right before Gravity Cavity. This thing's always real shady, a little bit slippery maybe. You see people will slide out right there. And then here's Gravity Cavity with the dip sign, currently anyway. Signs come and go around here, so if you're watching this after the fact, it's not necessarily going to be accurate. Mile marker 3. Here we have campsite, which is no longer a campsite, but we still call it that. Somebody is camping there. Oh, great. I got somebody that pulled out right between me and the car that just pulled over. Little easy zigzags, right, left. There's another one right down here. There's a pair of those easy right, left, we'll call it. Trying to avoid using the word fast. Speed limit is 30. Coming in to catch all here. It doesn't look that sharp, but you can see all these black marks and stuff. But it is a little tighter than it looks. And it goes on a little longer, I think, is the problem. It doesn't look like it's a long turn. So you kind of sort of turn in and think you've hit the apex, but what you did was you turned in too early and you start to run out wide like you normally would, but the turn keeps going and it catches people off guard. So now we're getting into the easy straight section going down towards Parsons Branch, which is the low point, the tunnel that they fly under for the Red Bull video. Easy right, blind. Nice. Wheeling past me there. Probably didn't show up on video. So there's Parsons Branch on the right. It's a one-way road that comes in from Cades Cove. People track dirt out, mile marker 4. Called bowl turn. Now we start going uphill pretty aggressively for this direction. It's probably the steepest uphill part when you're going northbound like this. So you got the lower wavy section here. And then a little hard left right, and then the upper wavy section. Spectators. Then we get into swift turn. It's a pretty sharp turn going the other direction. It's not quite so bad going this direction, but it's still pretty sharp. Now we got this long increasing radius. Starts out a little tight and then it kind of opens up and leads on to this little straight-ish section going into the beginning of the triple doubles. So there's sort of double apex left-handers here. This one's shade tree, so it's the first one. Kind of turn in early, run out wide, come back in for the second apex. Then you got this long right-hander that people blow coming the other way, so be careful, be ready here. Please, everybody, be in your lane. Cool, cool. Now we got the other double left-hand apex here to 2 of 3. One more kind of continuous right, and then the final double apex left. So you kind of turn in early, run out wide, char marks in the road from a car fire, second apex, and now we're going uphill. Real good view to the left, but don't get distracted. Stay focused. It's easy right. And now we kind of level off. We're not going uphill so much anymore. We call this the plateau. Now we got a hard right up here to get you in trouble. So be careful. That was a V8 Boss Hoss motorcycle. And we get into the rhythm section now. A little pothole on the right, another pothole on the right, and then one on the left. So you got to kind of, and we got this series of sort of rhythmic rights and lefts. Section we call power lines, even though there's power lines in a lot of places, this one's really prominent. They actually drop down below the road as they pass over. Continuing through the rhythm section, Jedi's Fall. This one's a little tight. Not too many people have problems with it, but a local went down there pretty hard, and most people kind of slow down for it more than they need to. And this one kind of opens up. It's a little easier than it looks, but it does lead into a hard left. Then we get into Spectator Alley, we call it. Mile marker 6. And guy's headlight is on. Going down into Horseshoe. Coming up on Cemetery Turn. This one's longer than it looks as you enter. And kind of, yeah, you see he runs out wide, kind of had to reel it in there. And he's got those low bags on that cruiser in front of us that's got those hard fiberglass low edges or whatever that hang down below the pipes. So, well, pretty equal with the pipes, I guess, but still, they touch early. And he's scraping that fiberglass there. So we're coming up now on 2 Square. It's a pretty hard right-left pair of S's. Got that sign to 2 90-degree angles. Pretty cool place to spectate up there. There's the first S of 2. Here's the second one. Divots in the road. Pick your line. Little straightaway here. Passing mile marker 7 and getting ready to see what we call picnic tables, because there used to be picnic tables here. Concrete, like government level stuff. That Subaru was all over the double yellow. And now guardrail, the only real guardrail. He's got to be really careful with those saddlebags being that low. He can't just crank it over if he needs to and tighten up or anything if he's going too fast. Radar turn. Jeez. Oof. Make me nervous, y'all. I'm going up around this blind cresting left here. It's pretty open and, you know, a large radius, but you kind of come over this blind hill. There's another large radius turn that's blind right here. Coming up on the 1 mile sign for the overlook. Begin brake cooling if necessary. So here you might be in a little bit, one higher gear, maybe like this little section from radar turn up through here is a little bit more open and larger radius turns. This little hump turn here is very upsetting coming the other way. The pavement does weird stuff there. It's broken and rolls off camber and upsets other vehicles, and so we've seen people spin out there, so just kind of be ready. So now we come up on mile marker 8. Things kind of tighten up again here. It might drop a gear. Again, we're getting close to the overlook. Little triple apex here. It starts off tight. It's a little bit of a tight right, and then it sort of opens up, and then there's a medium right, and then it opens up again. There's another medium right, and there's, I guess it's kind of a tricky little left right here. People kind of have problems with it sometimes and end up in a ditch. I guess you can't quite see what the road does, so that's what makes it a little tricky. Pretty rough pavement right there. The final pull off on this side of the road, well, on the road in this direction. So we're coming up on the overlook now. This is where there's people, police, babies, dogs, you know, you name it. So take it easy. Blount County Rescue Squad truck sitting backed up into the gated area. I like this little shady spot right here for pulling in, hanging out. The overlook is pretty exposed and hot. But it's a cool, you know, gathering place too. All right, I'm gonna check some cameras and stuff, make sure everything's still good, and then we'll make our run back.